Green light, go, go, go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It is time to get underway with our final event for this season. And quickly before we start, I just want to say that it's been a lot of fun. It's been exciting, and we can't get we are not we can't be more excited for season 4 to begin. And so as we get started here with qualifying for our final event, we will be having two events, two 30-minute events. So that's kind of something neat for this league, where we've done 20 minutes events. So tonight will be two separate 30-minute events, and I can't be more excited. And also we will have Nick joining us tonight once again, so that's also going to be pretty exciting.
Hello, guys.
Hey, what's up, Nick? I wasn't
Ready
sure
to
if you were
watch
there
some
yet.
Yeah, I was waiting on you to get your intro done. Sounds good.
Anybody you have that on your radar tonight?
Yeah, I think Kurt Moss is going to be strong in the AMG tonight.
It's kind of interesting with Kurt. We've seen him progress a lot this season. He's kind of been, I said it at the start somewhat, I guess jokingly, because he did have fans in the chat, but he's honestly become one of the like series regulars. Gotten a lot of coverage, and so I've, you know, he's definitely put in the work. There it is, Kurt Moss Posse in the chat. That's super cool to see.
Good to hear.
So is there anybody you want to go ahead and spectate tonight as we get started here?
Yeah, I want to check in on Conrad Abbott, and I'm gonna look at start too.
Looks like Conrad's pretty slow off the pit lane there for some reason. He might still be working on a setup or trying to give himself some clear space.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to make some space for a good qualifying run so nobody gets in his way.
I hope he warms up those tires. I'm pretty sure they got kind of cold there. Do you remember track temps last night in the GT3 league?
Oh man, no, I think they were in the high 30s like they are tonight, but I can't be sure.
Seems kind of hot, 39 degrees on track.
Yeah, that's going to be really punishing for these GT4s.
Let's go ahead and look at the board here if anybody's put in a time. And so far, our provisional pole sitter is David Lamy with a 2:15.0. Now that's pretty exciting. We haven't seen, now I forget which of the two. I know we've seen one of the Lamys at the top, but this time we have both Lamys running in. We have a Lamy 1-2, which has actually turned into a Lamy 1-3 as Kurt Moss breaks into that P2 slot with a 2:15.7. It's very strange to see Adam Stark in 4th place, but with 9 minutes to go, I don't doubt that he's going to start picking up the pace.
No, they'll get these tires warmed up and they'll start gripping a little better. They'll be running some faster times.
It's pretty cool to see the board just kind of fill up right now. Dan Lee moving into P2, followed by Eduardo Lima in P3. Now, Eduardo, this is his 2nd race this season. And from what we saw last week at Nürburgring, in the rain, he was a pole contender. So this is going to be the first time we see him in the dry. And I don't know, I'm excited as what this kind of circuit can do for a guy like Eduardo. He was good around Nürburgring, but, you know, will he be as fast down the mountain?
Yeah, that'll be something to look for, definitely. And I'm glad to see Lee is back tonight. I missed him 2 weeks ago, so it's good to see what he can do tonight.
You know, a fun note, I messaged him at the start of the season, and I was like, hey, Dan, do you want me to run your custom livery in the broadcast? And because he usually runs a matte black BMW, and he told me, he was like, actually no, he was like, that's the livery I'm going for. And he sent me a picture of this I don't know what car it was, but yeah, basically he replicated it himself, and it looks like Nick Smoley there, or not Nick Smoley, I'm sorry, a McLaren kind of held him up there. Let's go ahead and go back there and just see what happened. Oh no, it looks like it was Nick Smoley. So Dan was on a fast lap there, and I think Nick tried to make some room, or yeah, so unfortunately for Dan, that did cost him some time.
Fortunately, there's still 7 minutes to go, so he'll have another crack at 2 more laps here, surely. It's looking pretty tight. The top 8 they're within a second of each other so far.
Wesley Lamy has moved up into the 214s now.
They're 1-2 again.
It's going to be a battle for the Lamies tonight. And I believe they're not brothers. I think you were right.
Okay, good to know.
I'm kind of sad though. It was kind of cool. You know what? They're on track brothers. We'll just dub them that. That can be their nicknames going into season 4, the Lamy brothers.
Yeah, we might have to clear that with them, but that sounds good. If you'll look at it, we've got in the top 7, there's 3 BMWs and 3 Mercedes, with Lima and the lone Aston Martin in 5th. So, I like the BMWs and the Mercedes are strong at Bathurst.
It's an all-German shootout tonight. Except for that one Aston.
Guess the McLaren will be British, right?
Yeah. Speaking of which, are you a fan of Formula One?
Not really. I've never really got into it, but I like all kinds of racing. So, if it's got 4 wheels and a motor, I like it.
Someone new here tonight, Jonathan Barrett. I believe this is his first event. And he's already running in the 4th slot tonight.
Yeah, he's coming in strong in his first race.
I think this will be a good test to see where he's going to land in next season.
Yeah, next season's gonna be interesting because they're gonna run the multi-class and the fun league next season, so that'll be good to watch.
How do you think that's gonna fare for us, having to cover a multi-class season?
We may have to get a 3rd guy in here to help us.
It's gonna be a new challenge, though.
Yes, it's gonna be a lot of action.
We're gonna go see what Stark is doing. He's kind of quiet tonight from Adam, and I'm quite surprised to see him running so far in the back. So far, the top 3 have remained unchanged, with Wesley and David holding that 1-2. And Danley in P3. It's not surprising to see John Caetano up at the top, but it is pretty exciting to see our 2 fairly newcomers with that 5-6. It looks like we also have another new driver, D. Weinert, running in P10. And it looks like he is one of the few that have opted for the Camaro. I believe the couple guys that I've seen that run this is Ed Berger and Thomas Knudsen. So I'm sure the U.S. gang is pretty happy with that one.
Yes, Camaro's like driving a battle tank.
Would you say that this is the Boatley of the GT4s?
I'd say that's a fair comparison, yeah.
And it looks like we have another new driver, Alex Marabella, P14.
Yes, I was going to ask you, because that's the first time I've seen him. I'm gonna take a look and see. He is driving a BMW.
With a
See
nice
how
livery,
he
I might
fares.
add.
Yes, sir.
Someone else who's, whoa, we have a couple cars there just sending it on turn one. P19, Ryan Garrity. I'm sorry, Ryan Garrity. I was pronouncing that one wrong last time. And so it took me a sec. I had to remember Barrett Garrity. Thanks to Ryan, though. But yeah, so Ryan Garrity, this is his second race as well, along with Eduardo Lima. So it looks like we have a lot of newcomers that have jumped in sort of at the back end of the season.
Yes. I tell you, I like Garrity's livery. That Audi's looking nice.
You're an Audi man yourself, Nick.
Yeah, I seem to gravitate toward it in the GT3s. It was one of the first cars I learned how to drive.
So with 32 seconds left, Leonard Cachola and this new Porsche that I've yet to see before. I can't identify it, unfortunately, at the moment. It seems like they're going to be able to squeeze in one more lap.
Chola's about 6 seconds off the pole, so he's got some work to do.
Maybe he can give John Corkle a run there for that 20 slot.
Right now we have Kurt Moss in pole by the smallest of margins, 6/1000ths of a second.
Do you know if Wesley was able to cross the line in time?
I don't think he did. He's back in the pits now.
And it looks so far like pretty much our entire P1 to P6 is in the pit. So at the moment, they are all through with qualifying. The only guy that could still challenge that is Eduardo Lima in P8 at the moment.
Stark jumps up to fourth.
Looks like that's going to push Dan Lee down to P5 with Caetano. Eduardo Lima 4/10 up at the moment with his current best time. That might put him into that P3 slot. It looks like he lost about 200s down the mountain. Nick, how familiar are you with the corner names on Bathurst?
Not familiar at all. I think I know Forest Elbow and was it the Conrad Straight? I think that's it for me.
All right, so as Eduardo Lima, unfortunately he didn't make it in time. He was 6/10 up. That's unfortunate. It looks like that minute was not enough time for him to make it through.
The top four was within a tenth and a half of each other. The top four, that's crazy. I think we're going to be in it for a good show tonight.
Do you have any one driver that you're just expecting something crazy from tonight?
Yeah, keep your eye on Dan Lee. He's fast here at Bathurst. I think he's going to challenge Moss and Stark and Lammy, well, both Lammies. So it's going to be a good race. But I think Dan Lee's he's rapid up here, so he's going to be good tonight.
This is a tough one because I think if I had to make a call. See, I could go with my favorites, right? I could maybe call out a Dan Lee, a Nick Smoley, a John Caetano, maybe Mike Smith, Christopher Greer. But you know what? I'm a root for the little guy, and I'm gonna root here for Brian Patton. Is he here tonight? I don't see the Porsche.
Yeah, I seen him earlier, so he is here.
All right, I see him. Yeah. So I'm gonna root for Brian. He had a tough time at Nürburgring, and I think this time around he's coming back. So you might see him at the back of the grid, but I think that's gonna change as we get underway here with our formation lap. Let's go ahead and go on board with I believe David Lamy. Which, by the way, I think that's the coolest Mercedes livery I've seen thus far. So with the, and it looks like Carter Close going off track there.
I seen Borden off track too.
Actually, yes, you're right. That's Borden, not Carter. That is Borden. Wonder what could have happened there.
Yeah, he's not moving. Not sure what's going on there.
That would have, I think maybe, unfortunately, I don't want to speculate this, but it's possible he might have had some sort of hardware issue. I know that happened to someone last night where their wheel just completely ripped off from their base. Because it just seems like a weird place to pull over knowing that it's going to be a start from the pits.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Let's hope there's no hardware failures.
And it looks like he's gone back to the pits. That's sad for Robin there, as we've seen him be at the top this entire league. And though this is the fun league, I still, if we were keeping track, I think he would have been competing tonight for a win.
Yeah, it seems he was running up front every race he was in.
Oh, it looks like Nick Smoley made a bit of contact with the barriers coming down the mountain. That's going to be a tough point. I know that as the track progressed, I found myself having more trouble having traction coming down into that braking point. And I found the car just having a lot of slip as I was braking. And anytime that I wasn't too hard on the brakes, I found myself on the other side of the wall. So I'm gonna be praying for these guys tonight. No Code Browns tonight.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Looks like Kurt holding up the line here, playing some mind games. He's like, no, guys, you're chasing too close. Speaking of close, it's surprising to see Carter so far down the grid. This is where we've usually seen Carter, but to see him this far down after two events where he's been at the top, it's surprising. And actually, pardon, that was not Nick Smoley who made contact. That was Adam Stark, which is even more surprising. Which, by the way, Adam, when you're watching this, I think you're playing mind games with me because you went back to your silver livery. So I know I mentioned it last time that he switched to a lime green one, so what's going on, Adam? I think he's trying to confuse me, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's obvious.
All right, Nick, what's the vote? Should we stick with the Helicam as we move into the start of the race?
Yeah, it's going to get exciting here on the first lap. They're all bunched up. They'll
Green
go
light.
through
Go,
Hell
go, go.
Corner, and then when they get up the mountain, it's going to be. Uh-oh.
So it looks like we're good at the start. No one's making contact thus far. We have one purple car going there a little wide. Unfortunately, I am not familiar with the livery. I'm just going to go ahead and move back to the front. As we approach the second turn. So far, so good. Moving a little far back. Unfortunately, Robin just got
a
out the
lot
pits.
of giving. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of give and take right now, which is smart.
So far, everyone doing a good job of being clean. Fortunately, it's always kind of hard to tell if there are any sort of one or two places overtakes, as it seems like Adam Stark and Dan Lee going a little wide. John Caetano trying to make a move down the middle. Eduardo Lima getting involved as well. Jonathan Barrett closely behind, almost making contact with Eduardo Lima. So far, so good as we go down the mountain. Dan Lee maintaining the lead ahead of Adam Stark. And it seems like Eduardo Lima lost a bit of time there to Jonathan Barrett. But so far, so good down the mountain. Kurt Moss maintaining the lead in front of David Lamy and Wesley Lamy. It's definitely going to get tricky tonight with Lamy's in that 2-3.
Yes, and it looks like everybody has gotten through the mountain section in one piece, so that's a good sign.
So as we get underway with the second lap, Kurt maintaining that pole position, followed by David Lamy and Wesley Lamy. Running in fourth, Dan Lee. Fifth, John Caetano. And it seems like John Caetano and Jonathan Barrett have taken the spot away from Adam Stark. That might have been an interesting overtake there, as we could replay it, but we're going to stick with the action on track for the moment, as things are surely about to get heated as Eduardo Lima and Christopher Lee fight towards the rear. Eduardo Lima down the inside, trying to maintain the lead from Christopher. Everyone getting close to the wall there, as we saw Jonathan Barrett and Adam Stark. Adam Stark has taken the place back from John Caetano as Eduardo Lima comes down the inside. John's going to have a better exit as he's on the inside. But it's Eduardo Lima around the outside on John Caetano. Fantastic move there by Edward. That took a lot of guts to maintain the car flat out. Adam Stark, touch of grass there as he pursues Jonathan Barrett. So far, our leaders doing a good job of maintaining their positions, and I wouldn't be surprised if these guys just kind of spaced out from each other and pretty much finished in this configuration.
Yeah, you can't pass on the mountain section without causing any problems, so as long as you can keep it in between the walls, you're doing good.
And Dan Lee going wide. Unfortunately, that's not going to cost him a position, but it is going to open the door for Jonathan Barrett.
Now we have Caetano looking to go to the outside of Lima. That's for 7th.
Jonathan Barrett, not enough for him to go on the inside of Dan Lee.
Greer with the move on Smoley in Hell Corner, and he'll take the spot.
Fantastic job there as I see them. Nick Smoley trying to fight that back. As Fernando Silva gets involved in the action. They're going wheel to wheel down the straight. Fernando Silva trying to make a move, trying to thread the needle. And they make contact.
Oh.
It seems like for Fernando that's going to pay off as he was patient but aggressive enough. And he's going to take the spot away from Adam Stark. I'm sorry, Nick Smoley. And unfortunately for Nick, it looks like Carter Close has also gotten past him as well.
I think we'll see Mirabella now. He'll join this group.
Oh, and it looks like Carter's going wide. I don't know if you might have been pushed out a little there by Nick. He maintains his position. That's going to aid Alex Mirabella and Mike Smith coming down the mountain.
Now Smoley looking to get the position back on Close.
Oh, and they make contact.
Oh.
That's opening the door to Alex Mirabella.
We have Mike Smith back here in 14th, and I think he's loving this battle in front of him. That's slowing him down, giving him a chance.
Mike Smith always doing a great job of being consistent. And they make contact, unfortunately.
Oh.
And like you said, there it is. Mike Smith ready to make the overtake.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Unfortunately, that couldn't be any more true here in Bathurst.
It's really a fun track.
Dan Lee leading the battle for 4th, followed by Jonathan Barrett, Adam Stark, John Caetano, and Eduardo Lima. You know, it's kind of interesting that the first 3 drivers tend to usually change out for in those positions, but we always see Dan Lee, John Caetano in the middle of something, somewhere in the midfield.
I think they like being where the excitement is.
They're always leading it, so they're doing something right. We're going to go for an air review down the mountain with these 4 drivers as they battle out for 4th. Seems like they're spacing out a bit. John Caetano and Eduardo Lima falling back. Everyone nice, hugging the wall. And it seems like Jonathan Barrett's going to get a faster exit. He's making the move. It's pretty much a drag race with these 2 BMWs. Jonathan Barrett having that early lead. Who's going to break?
Playing chicken.
Oh, fantastic move there by Jonathan. And it seems like Adam Stark almost made a move there on Dan. Followed by John Caetano as well. No
Things
one's
are
wanting to
heating
give up.
Lima's looking to get in on the action too.
Drafting there with John. Can he get the toe into turn 1? He's making the move, and he's backing out.
I think that was a wise decision. He could have made it worse for both of them, but he backed out of it.
And it seems like Carter Close has pretty much dropped off the grid. I believe he's running in P17, so I wonder if some of that damage from his battle with Nick Smoley might have caused that or something else. Danley around the outside. Very good job by these guys. It's always exciting when you see them just inches away from the wall.
Yeah, it's really impressive, especially here at Mount Panorama. I don't know about you, but usually on the downside of the mountain, I forget to take a breath, so I'm usually holding my breath the whole time.
It's kind of funny because on my way up, I always take a breath because I'm telling myself, remember, the way down last time you messed up. Let's refocus. It never works, though, unfortunately. There's always something. We're going to move back with the leaders as Kurt still maintains his lead, followed by David and Wesley. I don't want to say I called it, but I had a strong feeling. Oh, and Eduardo Lima making contact with the wall, unfortunately.
And I see he's got a little damage to the rear end as well. I don't know if that's going to hurt him much, but...
Oh, that sucks. Let's go ahead and watch that and see what happened with him. He just went a little wide there, unfortunately. I think that's going to have to force him into a pit stop this race.
Yeah, I think that damage is hurting his performance a little too much. With 17 minutes left, he's going to lose too much time. He might have to pit.
And I believe that crash there has allowed Christopher Greer to get by. Let's go ahead and...
Oh,
yes?
Adam Stark looks like he missed his braking point.
That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and watch that replay.
Yeah, it looks like he come to a dead stop just to avoid getting a warning.
Too much curb, and that pushed them out to the wall. That's a tricky one. If you don't lift just the slightest amount, that pushes you into that curb, and it's a nasty one for sure. Seems like he didn't have too much damage that he's able to drive away from that.
Yeah, he might be all right here, all things considered, but he has fallen back to 12th.
So will he pit? And it looks like he's opting not to. That's honestly, that's a tough decision. Only Adam can tell there if the damage is great on the car. But Nick, with 15 minutes left to go in a 30-minute race, do you think that most of these guys are opting to pit, or will they manage their tires?
No, I think you're going to try to manage your tires. With a 30-minute race, you're going to lose too much time in the pits. If you're not hurt with damage and it's slowing you down, you're better off not to pit.
We're on board with Dan Lee at the moment as he chases down Jonathan Barrett. As we hear him lifting off a bit there to avoid the wall. Lifting off once more. Jonathan Barrett getting a little bit of curb there. It seems like Dan Lee is a little more conservative on the brakes. Oh, and as soon as I said that, very aggressive. From what I can see, Jonathan Barrett, bit wide on exit. That might give Dan some space and to catch up here down the straight. It almost seems like Dan is faster climbing up the mountain, but coming down, he's losing a bit of time, as it seems Jonathan is a bit more aggressive. But so far down the back straight, he's getting a lot of toe. Not enough room to make the move on the inside. Jonathan's pretty much very aware that Dan is behind him. He's catching a lot of curb, and that's costing him a lot of time.
Yeah, it looks like Dan's trying to force him into a mistake.
Dan's a pretty consistent guy, so I wouldn't put it past him.
You know, I really love the ability to go on board here and watch the driver's perspective.
Let's move down the grid a bit. We're going to come back and see these guys. Alex Mirabella behind Edward Lima as he makes the move down the inside. And he's clean. Unfortunately there for Eduardo. Oh, he's fighting it back. But Eduardo's going to have the inside line. Fernando Silva right behind. Might not have enough to make it yet. And he doesn't.
No.
Oh, unfortunately, they make contact.
Oh, no. Oh, I feel for Nick Smoley. He come around the curve and had no idea.
Oh. Yep. Let's rewind to that, unfortunately. So we had contact with Fernando and Eduardo. It looks like Fernando caught Eduardo out, trying to make the move down the inside, and that's unfortunate. Adam Stark gets away fine on the outside, but Nick not knowing, and that also cut out Mike Smith as well. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think we've all had that happen to us before.
It's especially tough in this scenario where it's just a blind turn, and you know, he in his perspective, he was on the right line, perfect turn in, completely unaware that something was ahead. You know, your engineer will tell you that there is a yellow flag, but it's hard to see, especially with a blind turn in like that. Mike Smith making the move down the inside on Nick Smoley, and he's gotten through. Nick fighting it out, but he's gonna let him pass. Let's move back with David. And it seems like David has bridged the gap to Kurt. This might be the move. All right, David Lamy a lot closer than we've seen him thus far. A little bit of contact with the wall, and it seems like he's going to just make it down the inside. Who's going to live first? It looks like Kurt defends. Great job there by Kurt Moss. Kurt getting a little bit of curb. Not enough to destabilize the car. Seems like David's being a little more conservative with the brakes. A little bit of oversteer from Kurt. A little bit of an
These two have pulled away. These two have pulled away now, so I don't think they have to worry about anybody behind them. They just got to worry about fighting amongst each other.
It looks like David Lamy getting a lot of tow from Kurt. It might not be enough to make a move down the inside. As I see a couple of the brake markers have been ripped away. And I'm seeing a couple cars in the pits. Looks like about 3 of them. Kurt defending the inside line. David pushing him. As we're going to have a battle down the straight. All right, Nick, what are you calling here? Is he going to make the move through the mountain? Oh,
he looks like he wants to go. Here it is.
Kurt on the inside. Switching back. Oh, that's a tough one. This is good racing from these two.
Kurt does not want to give up that position, but Lamy wants it.
Something interesting there is we're seeing Kurt braking versus lifting. Oh, this might be it.
Off track. I think Lamy put him a break.
It's a great job by David for sure, being very safe and just trying to make the perfect overtake. I know.
Yeah, he could have forced the issue right there, and that could have been bad for both of them. But he wisely backed out of it. He's going to try to get him coming down the straight now. He's going to get a good tow from him.
He's a lot closer than last lap for sure. I think we're going to see a move here coming through the kink.
Yeah, you're better off trying to make the move down here. Once you get up to the mountain, it's just too hard to pass up there. It gets too risky.
A little bit of oversteer, but they keep it on track. You know, I believe... Go ahead.
I was going to say, Kurt's not giving it up. Lamy's going to have to earn this one.
It's an interesting dynamic because we have yet to see these two on track fighting it out before until now. It's definitely something when you've raced against the driver before. But, and I think maybe this is kind of fueling David's driving a bit more, whereas he's not too sure how Kurt drives, and so this is making him a little more pensive when it comes to making a move.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is wreck yourself or wreck the guy you're trying to pass. You never want to make the pass like that.
Unfortunate for Lamy, he's had 2 contacts with the wall.
Yeah, it looked light. I don't think he's having anything to worry about there. I don't think that's going to slow him down any. Yeah, I don't see it affecting the performance of his car.
Bit of oversteer in that exit. And it seems like we have a yellow flag on the mountain. It seems like that might have, unfortunately, I'm not able to catch up to who it was. I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, Mirabella and Barrett. Mirabella and Barrett both into the wall.
Yeah, we just caught that one, unfortunately. And it looks
Yeah.
like that was another one there for Mirabella. Christopher Greer is going to make the move on Jonathan Barrett, unfortunately.
Yeah, Barrett's got a lot of front end damage. He may be forced to pit to fix some of that damage, even though there's 5 minutes to go. Yeah, Mike Smith, he's a good bit behind him, but I think with that much damage on the front end, Mike Smith will catch Barrett before this race is over. And Barrett's on his way into the pits now.
Unfortunately for David Lamy, he has lost out a lot to Kurt. Something that's not surprising is John Caetano and Dan Lee fighting for fourth.
Yeah, I think they're working on a little friendly rivalry.
Might be something to do with that Beamer on Beamer action.
Yeah, it's the battle of the BMWs. Looks as though Silva has had a drive-through penalty. Not sure if he got caught speeding.
Nick Smalley and Mike Smith.
This could get interesting.
Slight tap on the brake by Mike. Is that something different from GT3s, Nick? I've noticed that a lot of them are braking slightly through the mountain versus lifting.
Yeah, that's a lot to do with the GT4s. I've never had to use the brake coming up the mountain, and most of the time going down the mountain till you get to the last couple of corners. But the GT4s, you have to apply a little brake. With the GT3s, a lot of times, all you need is just a little lift of the throttle. You can make a lot of those corners.
Nick Smalley having almost a better exit there from Mike, but unfortunately the straight line speed of the Porsche is not enough to compete with the McLaren. From what I've been told, the Porsches are slower. Do you follow in that school of thought, Nick?
Yeah, it seems they don't have the top speed. I believe the McLaren and the BMW they're the two fastest when it comes to top speed in the GT4 class. But the Porsches are very good at cornering. Have good acceleration, but they're not good on top end speed. Which here at Mount Panorama, that's a blessing and a curse.
I think it's almost fitting that we see Nick Smalley and Mike Smith fighting it out on the season finale here. Compared to Kurt Moss and David Lamy, these two have found themselves behind each other multiple times this season.
And Dan Lee did have to pit.
Oh, that's unfortunate, moving him back down to P10. With a minute left, it's possible that he just didn't have enough fuel.
Leaders on final lap now.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you on that one. I don't believe I would have stopped or to fix any damage with less than a minute to go.
Carter close with a stop and go penalty. It's pushing him back all the way.
Well, Carter's had a tough race tonight. I know he can't be satisfied with this.
You know, we saw a very clean lap 1, but I think it's about to get hairier in event number 2.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And unfortunately for Nick Smalley, too much curb.
Well, we've had a change for the lead now. Lemmy is past Kurt Moss.
Let's rewind that back really quickly and see what happened there. Had the change happen 30 seconds ago, and it looks like up the mountain, David Lamy found the room, going around the outside. Bit of contact with the wall, but that sent him right into the inside, getting past Kurt Moss. Fantastic job by David. It might have not been the cleanest overtake, but he showed that he was patient enough to wait for the move to make it happen. Making his way through a couple back markers as he finishes out the lap here in event number 1. Seems like he's not going to be able to get past the back marker there, unfortunately, but nonetheless, it's David Lamy across the line for P1. Solid finish by David, followed by Kurt Moss and Wesley Lamy. And it seems like Kurt barely crossed the line there. John Caetano in 4th, followed by Adam Stark and Christopher Greer. Nick Smalley still behind Mike Smith, but with that much distance, I don't believe that's going to be enough for a position change.
Well, in any event, race 1 has turned out to be quite entertaining.
You know, I believe this is the highest position we've seen Mike take this season so far. So hats off to you, Mike.
Yeah, congratulations, Mike. Such a good guy, too.
Congrats to Ryan Garrity as well. Compared to Nürburgring, this has definitely shown that he's a contender to watch out for next season. And unfortunately for Pete, it seems like he made contact with the wall. Did Harrison come in time to make the move there? It looks like he didn't, so Pete will keep his position. But approaching the line, it seems like that curb sent him wide, unfortunately. But fortunately for him, he did correct it enough to keep the position as Harrison was right behind Leonard Cachola, P12, Shell Smith, P13, Brandon Laycock, P14, Jonathan Corkle, P15. Sadly to see Dan Lee in 16th. It looks like he might have had damage as he took a pit on the penultimate lap. Jonathan Barrett, P17, followed by Brian Sullivan, P18, Jonathan Proctor, P19, Robin Borden, P20. Nick, did we ever see him after his disconnect?
No, I looked, but I never did see him.
That's a tough one, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah, because we expected him to run up front.
And Fernando Silva, after his crash, midway through the race, he's going to finish P23.
A lot of these drivers just barely made it on fuel.
Now, if you guys are watching, be sure to stick around. We are going to go ahead and start event number 2. Same grid order. It's just another chance for these guys to show us what they got on track. What are you expecting to see, Nick, going into the second event?
I expect Kurt Moss to have a little revenge in this race.
For sure.
But David earned the first race. He earned that win, though.
You know, one guy we didn't see much of was Wesley. He pretty much ran his own race tonight.
Yeah, anytime there's not much excitement around you, you'll take it.
We are about 2 minutes away from entering the second event.
All right. I'm going to go make a pit stop. I'll be right back.
So yeah, that was definitely an interesting event tonight. I think we're gonna see a little bit more of aggressive driving as we head into the second event. But yeah, it's pretty interesting with these cars, especially on this track. They seemed kind of spread out towards the end. A lot of the groups we were following, unfortunately, whether it was a racing incident or just catching an unlucky break, it seems like a lot of the inconsistencies on track have sort of spread the grid out versus what we saw in the earlier laps where the drivers were maintaining a close gap to the driver ahead. So I wouldn't be surprised if going into this next race we see a lot closer driving. Unfortunately, that might spread the grid up just a bit more. But hopefully everyone makes it through it.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Sounds like we're about to get a couple engine starts here as we head into event number 2. If you guys are just joining us, welcome along to the season 3 event to the GT4 League. If you guys aren't familiar with SimRacing604, go ahead and peep the chat. I'm going to post an invite link to the server. If you guys want to go ahead and be a part of Season 4, registration is open currently, I believe. But regardless, if it's not, it will be soon following this event. So if you're wanting to join, go ahead and hop on in there. And if not, there are also a lot of one-off events that happen throughout the season. So be on the lookout for those as well. as we wait for Nick to get back. Let's go ahead and move further back with a couple of drivers that we probably didn't see a lot of. Gonna go ahead and do my best to cycle a little more throughout the grid this time around, and just hopefully get a little more coverage of everyone on track.
I see Kurt Moss is still in the pits.
That is interesting. Do you think he might have backed out of this event?
I'm not real sure.
So as we saw last time, Robin Borden disconnected, or not disconnected, but he went off track and had to start from the pits. He managed to, or at least he didn't leave the lobby, and he's still in this event, and it looks like he's in the formation lap this time around. So it's odd to see both of these guys having similar issues. This will definitely change the dynamic going into this race, being led now by Wesley Lamy. It's always fun seeing everyone weaving to warm up the tires. You know, a driver we didn't focus on too much at the start was Harrison Lynn. It's, I just realized he's running in the back. That's very surprising. Oh, and we have a couple guys going off track. It's that double line formation, man. It'll get you. All right, we're going to go ahead and follow a little behind the leader. And hopefully we're going to get a little more coverage of the drivers.
Green light, give it again.
As we're across the line and we're green into event number 2. Robin Borden down the middle. So far, so good. It doesn't seem like there's been any contact. It looks like we have Thomas Knudsen possibly going a little wide there, but so far, everyone doing a good job of keeping it clean on track. Doesn't look like we're going 3 wide anywhere yet. As we go up the mountain. Adam Stark catching up to David Lamy. Robin Borden and Jonathan Barrett going 2 wide. Eduardo Lima getting involved in the fight. Christopher Greer, Fernando Silva close behind. Oh, and it looks like Robin makes contact with the wall. That opens up the room for Eduardo Lima to get past. Christopher Greer anxious to make a move as we head down the mountain. Moving back with the leaders. Everyone so far maintaining their positions. Christopher Greer still behind Robin Borden. Has not been able to make the move yet.
That was impressive. They kept it clean.
That definitely beat my odds. I was betting a lot more aggression this time around.
Yeah, usually you see the top 5 or 6. Once they get a lead, it's hard to run them down.
Especially with these guys being as consistent as they've been. It looks like Adam Stark catching a bit of grass as Dan Lee right behind John Caetano. Two Lamies fighting it out for pole.
Oh, Greer into the back of Borden, and they both go around at Hell Corner.
Unfortunately, yeah, we did see that in the back. That's a tough break there for Robin, as that was his second incident this time in the first lap. But you know, not starting where he was this time last time around, I think that might have cost him a bit, as he just wasn't as familiar with everyone at the top through this track. Edward Lima making the move. He's getting a lot closer as he's heading down the outside, but that's a good defend there by Jonathan Barrett. And it seems like we've had a bit of space here. If you check that out, Nick, behind Edward Lima, it seems like we have a bit of a distance with two groups here. One being led by Nick Smoley. It's possible that the contact with Christopher and Robin has separated these two groups out.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
And it looks like there's some contact up ahead. It's going to be a hard one to choose which guy to go ahead and watch this replay. But we're going to hop on board with Dan Lee and see what happened back there. Adam Stark on the inside of John Caetano. Looks like he backed out. Adam Stark going wide. And it seems like Wesley was the one that we saw off track, as well as Adam Stark. John Caetano making a move on David Lamy. Sorry, Wesley Lamy. It's a tough one when you have both Lamys up front.
Yeah, it can get a little confusing.
Seems like John's using a bit of time to Wesley up the mountain.
The
And
top 6 are still all over each other.
It almost seems like
Get a
they're
little-
spacing out just a little bit more.
Lima's going for the move on Barrett. He backs out. That was probably a good idea. Wait, get a good run coming down the straight.
Unfortunately, we've seen that consistently from Jonathan. He just catches a lot of curb.
Oh, Caetano goes around.
Unfortunately, he probably oversteered a little too much. Let's go ahead and watch that replay.
Carter close, barely gets by. That opens the door for Mike Smith to make the move. Tano he's fighting back.
And I believe that's
Now
Conrad Abbott.
Abbott. Yeah, we were watching the same thing, weren't we?
Oh, these guys are getting a little loose through that braking zone.
Ooh.
That's a tough break for John. It just seems like he didn't manage the throttle too much and just found the rear in front of him. Conrad Abbott pushing for a move. Seems like he's going to back out of this one. But as we go down the straight, it seems like he's faster. He's definitely catching him up. John Caetano having the inside line. I don't see him backing out of this one early.
Yeah, that's a tough move on the outside. Once you go around that corner, it's a little off camber. If you're in the outside, it's hard to get any grip.
And unfortunately there for Conrad, he wasn't fast enough to keep the inside into the hill climb there. I've seen a lot of guys move around the outside, give up the position, but as you move towards the inside, you have that space. So now you switch back and the guy on the outside has to brake earlier, allowing you to take the position. But as you said, it looks like he didn't have enough grip there that he had to back out a little earlier than he probably would have wanted.
Yeah, and that caused him to lose a little time. So he's now falling back a little bit from John Caetano.
And I think what I'm seeing is right. Nick Smoley making a move on Adam Stark down the back straight. And he's done it. Fantastic job. It seemed like he just got a much faster exit. Two similar Porsches drag racing it out. From the looks of it, it looks like Adam Stark does have a bit of front end damage. Not a lot, but it looks like he has a bit of paint missing on that front splitter.
Yeah, hopefully that don't affect him too much.
Dan Lee close behind Wesley Lamy. Battling for third at the moment.
Can already go back to Lima. He's still joining this group too, so he's not out of it.
And forgive me, it looks like it's a battle for second as Dan Lee on the inside. And it looks like John Barrett as well. Eduardo Lima getting a little stuck behind there, Wesley Lamy. Ah, that's a tough break for Wesley, losing 2 positions up the mountain.
Oh, Lima scrapes the wall. He's able to continue. Now Barrett's looking to make a move on Lee coming down the mountain.
Oh, Dan Lee seems like might have locked up a little. He definitely hit the brakes a lot earlier, but regardless, he's getting a faster exit than Jonathan Barrett. Nick, I'm gonna leave you in charge of these guys as I move further back down the grid. John Caetano running in P9. Unfortunately for him, he did lose out a lot of positions, but it seems like he's been able to reclaim the spot back from Mike. Conrad Abbott as well. I believe last we saw him, he was fighting with John Caetano, but he's lost out to Fernando Silva. Christopher Greer, after his initial contact with Robin Borden, has made up a couple positions running in P13. Followed by Pete Stepani and Ryan Garrity. Ryan Garrity. Someone we didn't see a lot of in the last event was Tim Dimitri, running in P16. And running a little lower than before, Leonard in P17. Someone we don't see a lot from, Shell Smith, running in P18. And it looks like we have a battle for 19th with Bob Laycock and Brian Sullivan.
We have Barrett and Lee still fighting for the second position. Meanwhile, David Lamy is pulled out to a 4.5 second lead.
I think
Barrett is all over the bumper of Lee, coming down the straight, making the move. Ooh, this could get dangerous. Neither one backs out. Wow.
That was a tough one.
Lee managed to hold on, but Barrett's not done yet.
I believe this is the first time we've seen a large battle for second place.
Yeah, this is getting interesting now. Maybe set up my seat.
And as we've seen it before, a battle with the BMWs as Jonathan Barrett moves around the outside. Will Dan Lee move towards the block, and it looks like he's going to cover the inside. Whenever you have a guy coming down on the outside, if he's fast enough and you just can't block the inside, he's definitely going to get you coming up the hill. But it looks like Dan was aware and was able to make that move and just move the car where it needed to be to make sure that John stayed behind him. As Jonathan Barrett is right on his bumper.
Yeah, Barrett's not giving up yet. But you got to be smart coming down this mountain. You stay off the walls, you still got a good chance. If he can get a good exit coming out of this corner, he might get him on the straight.
Saw a lot of oversteer there by Dan Lee and a bit of heavy braking by John Barrett. And even though they're in the same car, it looks like he's catching him up quite quick. As he moves around the outside, but Dan's going to be there to block that. It seems like Dan might have found himself a new rival on track.
Yeah, and even during this battle, they've managed to pull away a bit from Eduardo Lima, who's in fourth.
And it looks like we've lost track of Wesley Lamy altogether. Seems like he's moved down to P16.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to him. I see a little damage on the rear end of his car, but I didn't catch if he was in an accident.
All right, we're going to move away from this battle quickly to just check up on the rest of the grid. John Caetano,
Man,
Carter Close.
yeah, you had to feel for Borden back in 18th. He's had a tough night tonight. The first race and the second race.
Being very strong and pretty much all season, I'm sure it's not been an easy night for him. It's kind of good to see that everyone has on-track buddy tonight. Unfortunately for Conrad, it seems like he's by himself at the moment, so maybe he can bridge the gap to Fernando and Mike. Pete Stepani and Ryan Garrity. As I say that, Tim and Leonard finding themselves amongst a lot of space. As we see Wesley fighting with Shell. Seems like he had to back up there. That's a lot of damage on that front end. Billy Sullivan and Jonathan Proctor fighting for P18. And as a big surprise to me, Harrison Lynn and P21. It's possible that Alpine is just not as set up for this track as we've seen him throughout this season.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at that. Because I know Lynn he's capable of a better pace than this.
Christopher Greer unfortunately falling back to P25, followed by, well, it looks like Kurt is in the pit, so he has DNF this event. Sorry. Yes, is that correct, Nick? DNF?
Yeah, I was trying to get an update, but I haven't heard yet.
David Lamy comfortably in P1. Slow Racing, if you'd like to join, Season 4 will be a multi-class event. The link is in chat, and I'll post it here again soon towards the end of this event. If you'd like to join, the registration, if it's not open yet, it will be open soon for Season 4.
So we see Dan Lee get into the wall, and Barrett has made the pass on him now. So he moves up to second.
Let's go ahead and watch that replay really quickly. And as Nick said, Dan has made contact and opened up the room for Jonathan Barrett. Now, Nick, am I saying that right?
Well, I just assumed it was pronounced Barrett.
All right, Barrett it is. I'm going to take your call on this one.
I'm horrible at pronunciating, so.
Bit of oversteer by Jonathan Barrett. Gotta remember that. It's like Garrett, but with a B. I'm pretty sure that's how he says it, too. Garrett, but with a B.
There you go. That sounds good. Now Lee's fighting back. He wants that second spot.
Will Barrett be able to keep the inside? And it looks like he does.
I have to say I am impressed with his racing tonight. Hope he enjoyed some of our one-off races. I'd like to get to a race with him.
You know, it almost makes me want to pick up the BMW for Season 4.
Yeah, I never meshed well with the BMW, but I think I'm gonna give it a try.
Seems like Barrett is slowing down a bit down the mountain.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
think he's being a little conservative right now.
And it looks like Dan is going to have a bit of a contact there with the wall. That's going to give Barrett a faster exit.
Yeah, Dan seems to be struggling on that downhill section.
Eduardo Lima on his own tonight in P4.
Oh, and Lee goes by, misses his braking point. He's going to give up a lot of time to Barrett's going to get a chance to pull away now.
This might be the opening that Eduardo Lima needs to bridge that gap. And Nick Smoley still maintaining that lead from Adam Stark in P5. That's honestly, I think, the most surprising we've seen. We've never seen these two guys race together, and nor have we seen Adam Stark struggling behind another vehicle.
Yeah, he's usually the one that's up front. He's making the move on Nick now.
Well,
It's too tough on the outside. When you're going through that corner there, it's just off camber and you're on the outside, you can't get no grip. He loses a lot of time to Nick Smoley.
You know, it's interesting because we've seen time and time again in both events that's been the popular side to overtake on, and very rarely have we seen it work. The only few times we have is whenever they've been confident on the throttle to keep it on the outside to make the switch to the inside.
Yeah, it's a difficult position to be in.
Fantastic job, though, by the defending driver for keeping that inside line. John Caetano, P7. It seems like he's moved up just a bit. And surprising to see, it seems like Mike Smith has dropped down and lost the gap to Fernando, as well as being overtaken by Carter. Actually, it looks like he's ahead of Carter.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah, the grid was out of order there for a second. But I wonder what happened to Mike there. As last we saw him, he was right behind Fernando Silva.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what was happening there. Now we're under 5 minutes to go. Looks like Lammy, he may take another win here tonight.
You know, I would have not expected events folding out as they did, as David Lamy is now overtaking a back marker, and that is Christopher Greer. I think that's the most surprising thing we've seen all night.
Wow, that is shocking. I think ever since that contact with Borden at the first of this race, that kind of hurt Greer and has pushed him back, and he hadn't been able to make up any time. Oh, later Lammy getting into the wall.
I believe that's Wesley.
David.
Oh, pardon. You look off screen for 1 second and you miss it all. And with 3 minutes left to go, it seems like Jonathan Barrett has solidified that second podium. But the fight's not over yet, as Eduardo Lima has caught up to Dan Lee. Oh, and it looks like... Go ahead.
The battle between Nick Smoley and Adam Stark is still raging. With 2.5 minutes to go, Adam Stark wants that 5th spot.
I hope that Eduardo is able to correct that last turn before the main straight, as he just went off track and almost made the same mistake as the last lap in event number 1. We're going to go on board with Lima up the mountain as he chases down Dan Lee. Eduardo making up a lot of time with Dan Lee heavy on the brakes up on the mountain. It's possible that his configuration has changed after all those contacts with the wall. That slight tap on the brakes has opened up the room for Eduardo Lima to catch up. Dan Lee doing a fantastic job of keeping the car all over the track. A bit of understeer there. Slight tap on the rear end on the wall. Eduardo Lima catching up once again. As we've seen before, this is a section where Dan Lee is especially heavy on the brakes. This might open up the room for that Aston to bridge the gap down the rear straight. Now, it doesn't seem like Eduardo Lima is able to catch up as fast as Jonathan Barrett did. But with 40 seconds left, he makes the move down the inside to make a bit of contact. That does push Dan Lee out, as he does keep the position.
Yeah, I think Lima let off there to let Lee get the position back.
We're going to move back and just watch that one more time.
As Adam Stark has made the move on Nick Smoley now. Stark is in 5th. That's allowed Caetano to catch up.
And it looks like John Caetano, as you mentioned, right behind, and he makes the move on Nick Smoley. Ah, that's tough. That's tough luck there for Nick, maintaining the lead in P5, having lost it out now, as well as P6 to John Caetano. As Dan Lee and Eduardo Lima get past Brian Patton. Seems like they weren't held up for too much time, but Eduardo Lima has bridged a gap to Dan Lee. And it looks like Harrison Lynn, oh, they almost made contact with him, but will everyone else be able to avoid him? So far, so good. John Caetano makes contact with the wall. Nick Smoley takes it on the inside as we go down the straight. Fantastic job by Nick, being in the right place to take advantage of that as we move over with the leader as he crosses.
The leader has
I think
finished the race.
Lima's going to have one more shot at Lee here. See if he can outbreak him.
Hopefully
Lee
he doesn't make
protects
the
the
same
inside.
mistake. Can he get a
Lee
faster
has
exit?
managed to hold on.
Fantastic job by Lee.
Nick Smoley is going to come in front of Catano. Boy, it's got exciting right there at the end.
Not only did we have Edward Lima and Dan Lee, but Nick Smoley and John Caetano.
Yeah,
Fantastic job by everybody.
congratulations to David Lamy. That was a good 2 races by him.
And it looks like Carter Close and Mike Smith have both retired from the race. That's going to move Fernando Silva and Conrad Abbott up a couple spots. And to my surprise, Robin Borden coming in P10.
That's a nice recovery for him.
And it looks like we... okay, no. I thought we had a bit of contact, but it was just the cars finishing the race. Ryan Garrity coming in P12. With a lot of front-end damage, unfortunately. Similar to Thomas
Yes.
Knudsen as well.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of beat-up race cars tonight.
Someone who doesn't have damage here is Shell Smith in P13. That's a fantastic job. 0 damage all around. Brian Laycock P14. John Proctor P15. And looks like everyone else was lapped, so that's where they will finish. Oh man, this is kind of bittersweet, Nick, as we've come to the end of event number 2. You got any final words for season 3?
It's been fun. I wish they would have a little longer than 20-minute races. I think if they would do 2 30-minute races every night, that would be a good start.
Yeah. Honestly, I would almost like to see something, within 45 minutes. I think while the shorter races are great, I think, and also having 2 events is nice. I think that having one long event at least gives the drivers a little bit of a chance to maybe fix some of the errors on track. So if you might have made some contact, you have the room to make a pit stop, and hopefully, and then again, like you said previously, you don't want to take advantage of others' misfortunes, but in endurance racing, it's part of it. So, if someone else crashes, that gives you the chance to maybe make up for your earlier mistakes. But so far, I think it was a fun experience this season all around. Just not only getting to broadcast it, but just kind of observe other drivers and watch the rivalries form on track. I know that I especially love to see Dan Lee and John Caetano mixing it up in those BMWs. And, hopefully for next season, we're able to see a lot of the guys like Tim Dimitri, Thomas Knudsen, Shell Smith, Billy Sullivan, Jonathan Corkle, John Proctor. For the most part, they kind of ran their own race towards the back, but coming up with the multi-class league, it'll be fun to see how it all mixes in, as well as any newcomers that we might see as well.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to next season, and I appreciate you having me this year. We'll have to we'll come up with something for next season, maybe make it a little more interesting. But like you said, the racing's good though.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I found myself probably getting a little too exciting on track sometimes, and I think with this track, it was we saw a lot of before the race there was a lot of, I guess, pensiveness from the drivers where they were kind of cautious on wanting to join. It seemed like this is a somewhat unfamiliar track to the good majority. So,
Green
you
light.
know,
Go, go, go.
it's possible that that's why we saw just kind of a little bit less action, considerably with Nürburgring, where it was somewhat chaotic. Um, but I think coming into season 4, we're going to see a lot of these guys develop. And I just posted the link in chat, guys. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join. There's going to be more information in the fun event chat thread if you guys want to consider joining this league, as well as if you're considering the championship league, that also will have its own stream, and that'll be streamed by Nick Smoley, who you saw in this race, and Tim Dimitri. So just go ahead and jump on the Discord. There's a lot of information out there for you guys. And well, Nick, honestly, it's been an honor, man. I've definitely enjoyed having you, and the times you weren't here, I've just been missing you a lot. So it's been great having you back tonight.
Yeah, well, hopefully you have me back for every race next season.
Yeah, the invitation's there, man. It's your spot. Let's just hope that your mic there doesn't want to give up on you anymore.
Yeah, I hope that our technical difficulties are all behind us, so I think we should be good from now on.
Sounds good. Well, guys, this has been it for us for season 3, and we look forward to having you guys back in season 4. If I believe we will be starting the season again March 9th, and this event will always continue to take place Wednesday nights. So that's been it from me and Nick, and we hope to see you guys back next season. Have a good night.